When it's Chase McFeeters, the Sherpa here. I have some information and some tips, tricks, trades to give you guys that is definitely going to help you make more money and be profitable. So this is information directly from my Substack, everbullish.substack.com. I'd love for you guys to join. There's a free and a paid option. You get a little bit of a trial period in between, but mostly know that I do this to help people first, show y'all, especially in a market that's typically going to be leaning away from the retail investor, how it can be easy if you let it. So throw me a follow and go over to Everbullish and subscribe. But yeah, so this is going to be on SpaceX. SpaceX is a stock that I took a little bit of guff from people for not touting and not recommending, and personally saying that I'm staying away from, that I don't like it particularly yet. And that just comes from my experience of the last 20 years being a professional investment analyst slash portfolio manager. And that's that with IPOs, especially the big ones, if you already have the shares and you're allotted before it IPOs, you're going to make money. You're going to make really good money. And most of the time it's deservedly so, right? Like you gave them your word that you'd buy it without knowing what it would open at. On the other hand, pretty much all of these, I can't really say in a vacuum, but I can tell you that the big ones that I can remember between Facebook, believe it or not, is a huge one with the burger company. What is it? Yeah, Shake Shack, many others, names that fail to, that have escaped me for now. But I remember enough to have a visceral feeling when I learned that my customers are buying something like SpaceX, right? Especially anywhere near the IPO. So first off, real quick, I always want to go over some of the messages that I get. I call them props, right? Your proppers. And this is just from a client sent me a message saying, hey, thanks. That was a solid stock pick. I'm up 36% in a short window of time. I should have doubled my position. So this is a customer that's been with me for a while. It's been a friend basically since we met and since he's been a client, and he's been killing it. Smart business owner, basically retired. And we have a great relationship, and he follows what I do and has to this point learned how to do it all on himself and use me as a consulate, basically. Somebody that who can he can bring in and put both of our big minds together, right? Second time, I got another one here. Same trade, believe it or not. So we just scored huge on ORCX. It was one of the easier trades that I've ever seen. It's very obvious. And fortunately, we made that money, and then it dropped, and the limit that we put in went off, and everybody made over 30%, typically more than that, actually, a little bit more than that. So this is another customer, been very loyal over the past year since we've met, and told me on Monday that he's already up 16% on the ORCX. And that was touted out, or that was sent out as one of my premium trades on Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, and then on Monday getting this, it was 2.5 days of real market open and trading, and we made him 16.2%. I was happy enough with that. And then the next morning I woke up to 34% on the ORCX trade. It's an absolute unit of a trade. Get used to it. That's what we do. Feel free to go to the Substack and look through the archives of how many of these we get and the actual results of every single trade if you read and follow whatever posts are in there. Okay. Commercial over. SpaceX. The reason I don't like it, and it's not because of this right here that says it's not profitable. It's not, but that doesn't really have anything to do with the sky high, like exuberance over prices, particularly in disruptive technologies and super high tech like this. They do make money. They're very good at sending satellites into space and placing them. They do it for themselves as well as others, for the Starlink, but also other companies. And they're very reliable in terms of the metrics that are reliable, even with as many explosions and rockets that they've had blow up. So the point is here, though, is that it IPO'd a while back, 3 months ago now. And most investors don't know this, but IPOs typically have a lockup date, meaning that there's one date where all of the people who own the allotted shares, and the allotted shares are the ones that go to the founders. So Elon Musk, right? A lot of the employees, a lot of the businesses that swap with the employees, right? So like if they have a partnership with so-and-so to build the fans, like a lot of the times they'll offer those. And then in this market and in this day and age, the amount of private equity that's out there will blow your mind. So these guys they basically get loans from private equity and then they get private shares in return. And once this IPOs, now those private shares turn public. They were probably given to them at $30 and now they're worth 122, I think, which was what the high was on the third day of IPOing. Since then, it's gone completely just sideways down, like a very gradual but consistent loss. And the stock's not even remotely where most people thought it would be after that initial public offering. And remember, investment banks, the CEO, the board, and the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, are all part of the process of developing how the lockout should be phrased or stated or made. I think it has to do with the fact that they're the largest company in history, even before they went public. So $1.5 trillion company, they can't just let all the lockouts in on one day because that could completely just absolutely flip the breakers on the market. It could have long-term, seriously damaging effects, not just on the volume of this stock, but all stocks because of how many companies are going to be, how many mutual fund companies or indexes or ETFs are going to own this inside of it, even if it's just a sector fund, right? So if you think about the amount of volatility that could be involved in this stock, because of that, you have to figure out a way. So here's what's to note is that this has what's called a cliff vesting schedule or would be called a cliff vesting schedule in all financial terms other than lockout. So think of it like that. But the schedule is just essentially that 20% of all shares, and it's kind of random the way that they allow the insiders to be picked on this, but basically 20% of all shares on August 6th today were made eligible to be sold out for all these people to take all these profits to diversify that new rich ass position that they got, right? So this was the first. The second releases lockout release is August 20 through September 24. So at the end of this month, basically, and through September, then the main lockout, lockup, is done in the 180th day, which is December 8th. And then finally, Elon Musk's lockup expires on June 12th of 2027. You need to know that. Glad to be able to give you the info. Go to the website, or rather the Substack site, and read and subscribe and take a screenshot of this. And now you're set. You don't have to worry about anything with SpaceX anymore. You can always text or call me if you're a paid subscriber. Look at the technical analysis on this thing. So first day up, second day up, third day all the way up, but then all the way back down to the price that opened, just below it. And then 3 down days. We went sideways for about half a month. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a flat day, 8. So if you have 8 trading days, that's 2 weeks basically. And a very steady decline like that. That's what we're going to expect to see here after these couple days that we had up and that I'm pointing at the cursor at. I thought that it'd be going down completely today and selling out yesterday would be a good idea. So I recommended that to customers. This today is actually now versus yesterday when this came out. And I especially touted a limit at a trailing 1% stop loss below the current market price or the price at the end of yesterday. What that means is that you're protecting your entire downside while still having the upside. It did something that I didn't think it would do today, and it went up by roughly 6%, I believe. I haven't looked since close. But all my customers and all the traders that did that would now have, in the event that I was right, they would have sold out and kept at least whatever minimal loss or potential gain that they had. They keep it minor, keep it small, don't allow it to grow, guarantee against that growth. And then, of course, they also had they taken that advice, that action item I gave them there went up by the 6% it was today. And now if tomorrow opens lower and the slide that I'm predicting cautiously, but very highly certain predicting will trigger, and they kept that 5%. That's something that you really get out of simple trading with my strategy, the ever bullish method, and following us and joining the bulls to kick ass and make money every day. Let it be easy. This will be a great performer someday, but not right now. It's okay. You don't have to be in everything. There's so much easier shit that we can buy that's going to continue to make us money like the traits that I showed you earlier. And then finally, yeah, it's big appreciation. I'm getting back on YouTube, really trying to show everybody that I can how to make money and to do it alongside me through a very cost effective and or free Substack. And that's really my life's mission. I want to make you money and I want to let you learn from the best on how to do this. Final, if you can't afford the low monthly cost of $20 a month and you're broke in college or seriously suffering from anything, I have a huge heart for that. Been through that myself. Alcohol, drugs, behavior, abuse, anything. Just send me a message. We can talk it out. If you want to send me like a one-page letter explaining what's going on, I can absolutely give you either a huge discount or potentially some free subscription for a period of times. And this will help you get out of that rut as well. So I'm Chase. Call me the Sherpa. Everbullish.substack.com is the resource library, trading firm, a trading service, and news outlet that can do it all for you. I'm here and I appreciate y'all. And let's keep making money.